Hey guys, so we are back again with another reading, and in honor of Valentine's Day, I wanted to do a very traditional love pick a card reading. So it's been a while since we did one of these, and I'm excited to get into all of their feelings, thoughts, and emotions towards you, find out what's going on in their head. So, with that being said, today we have a very traditional pick a card selection with some cards and crystals on top. So if you already feel a certain pile calling your name, feel free to skip ahead to that pile at any point. And I'm also going to show you guys the numbers on each of the piles. This one is pile number 1, pile number 2, number 3, and number 4. And I also want to mention to you guys that I do have my Patreon. Link is in my bio. So if you guys want to see more of my videos, that's where you can view them. So join the party over there if you guys want to. And yeah, I think that's about it. If you guys need more time to decide, feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need to make your mind up. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile 1. Hey pile 1, so if you guys picked this blue kyanite crystal, this is going to be your reading. So for your pick a card, you guys got protection. And then for your tarot, you got the 3 of Swords, 8 of Swords reversed, 6 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, 6 of Cups, 2 of Swords, 4 of Swords reversed, and the Death card reversed. So I can tell with all the Swords cards that your person has a lot of heartbreak. And with the 2 of Swords and the 3 of Swords, it's obvious that they really are feeling the pain from this separation towards you guys. I do feel like with the 6 of Cups, they reminisce about this relationship a lot. I almost feel like they're saying that even though they're not ready to kind of step forward towards you, that they don't want you to move on. With Death reverse, they don't want this to be an ending. They are kind of almost asking you to wait for them. I feel like they perceive you possibly as being very happy with the 10 of Cups, and it's almost like they're saying, or they're thinking that they're in so much pain, but you're doing fine and you seem to be thriving and seem to be doing really well. And I feel like the message from them is just that, they want you to know that even if they may not be stepping towards you, that they do think about you quite a lot. I feel like with the 4 of Swords reversed, it might keep them up at night, keep them from getting a good night's sleep, or they might even dream of you or something like that. But it does seem like you're on their mind quite a lot. And I feel like with the 6 of Pentacles, they may be trying to work to accumulate some money because they perceive that as something you would need to be in a relationship with them. So it may be something where they might not have the finances right now to step towards you in the way that they would like, but that's something that they're working on and they're trying to figure it out and they're trying to get there. And just for right now, they're not quite there yet. So yeah, I can feel that there's a lot of almost a regret on their part, or I also feel like they have a very fond soft spot in their heart for you. And with protection, I kind of feel like maybe some of their guides also come to you and protect you and look out for you, because I feel like they kind of keep themselves updated on what you've been up to, what you've been doing. And I do feel like they kind of try to surround you with, like, maybe even if they're not doing this consciously, unconsciously, a little bit of a cocoon of love around you, even when you're in separation. So, like, just because they, when we are thinking of someone in a very loving way, that actually sends loving energy to them. And loving energy is super protective. So I feel like maybe unconsciously, because they think of you and kind of fondly reminisce with the 6 of Cups, like they do spend time, going through their memories and replaying things that happened between you guys and past events. I feel like maybe that gives you guys some protection and some emotional protection from things that may go bad or negative energy someone may send towards you. You have this little bubble of love around you. But I'm definitely feeling like for most of this pile, you guys would be in separation from this person, or they can't step towards you the way they would like now, because it definitely feels like there's some sadness about that. And I also feel like they think that you have like this fun life. Like, I feel like they think that you're dating someone else, or that you're with someone else, or you have a lot of suitors or something like that. So it's kind of like, oh, they wouldn't want to be with me, especially because I don't have the money right now. So let's get more cards, you guys. So we got Trust reversed and Engagement reversed and forgiving and learning reversed, and past life relationship, you have known each other before. So maybe this was or is a past life relationship and you guys have this connection on the astral realm. I do feel like it's almost like they feel like you haven't forgiven them, which could make sense with a lot of the sword cards coming out, where maybe they did something shady, some of them. Maybe some of them, weren't honest with you about something, or maybe they did something that was kind of conniving, or maybe they just never stepped forward and were honest with you about like their feelings, and there's this fear that like you haven't forgiven them, or that you're holding a grudge against them, that like nothing they could say would make up for what they did, or you will never move on from it. You will never be like, hey, it's no big deal and whatever, let's put it in the past. Like, just there's this sense that there's something between you guys that is unmoved pastable. Maybe it's even something some of you guys did, I don't know, but I definitely feel like there's this perception that there's some kind of huge, like almost boulder in the way of this relationship working out, like just preventing it from moving forward. The trust maybe was broken at some point. And so I feel like even though they kind of would want to like engage with you, not like, I'm not saying they want to propose, but like just engage, like just text you, just call you, just have something to do with you. It's like I feel that there's a lot of fear that you're going to be really mad at them, and that if they tried to contact you, that you'd be like, are you kidding me? Why would you ever text me again? I told you not to contact me, or something like that. Or after everything you did, you must be crazy. Like, no, I don't want to talk to you. I feel like they replay or they play these scenarios in their mind. They have this idea that if they were to contact you, that you would like slam the phone down and never like be a positive reaction to them. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of shame coming through. There's a lot of kind of like, I did the wrong thing and now I have to pay for it. Um, I feel like, yeah, I feel like also they are trying to get into like their own power. In a way, I feel like they feel that if they could have some power over you, that maybe you would change your mind. So it's like, if maybe they could become wealthy, or maybe they could become really sexy or whatever, that that would be enough to like change the tides, because it feels like right now they think that there's just all bets are off, there's no way you'd be interested, and it's just going to be an instant no. So I feel like they kind of run through these scenarios in their head of like, okay, I could contact them about this, I could say that, if I tell them this, maybe they'll think this. And kind of like, okay, if I come with enough power, something about getting power and acquiring power would be important to them, because they want you to perceive them as very attractive and well spoken and sexy as well. And so there's this insecurity, I guess. It's almost like they're saying, I'm not ready yet, but I will be. I'm trying to change myself into this person. So it's like they are in the process of learning, they are in the process of growing. But I don't think they're the kind of person that wants to come forward with the energy of like, listen, I'm so sorry, I made mistakes. Let me humble myself in front of you. It feels like they would only feel comfortable stepping towards you if it was like, okay, this is a sure thing. I'm coming correct in terms of like how I'm dressing, not necessarily coming correct in terms of let me own up to everything I did wrong, which is mature energy, but more along the lines of, well, I have the bag now, I have the money, I have the clothes, I have the attitude, and now she can't say no. So it's like they're trying to build up to that point. They're trying to grow themselves up to a level where you'll just kind of be like, okay, I guess I have to say yes. It's kind of like if your ex suddenly became a billionaire, maybe even if like he really treated you bad, if he suddenly was back again at your doorstep and was being like, listen, I'm really sorry, I want to give it a chance. Even if you would have been like, never again, you might be like, well, he's a billionaire, so okay. So I feel like this person has this idea that they need to like acquire this success and then step towards you. So we got spend quality time together, true love, and listen with your heart. So I do feel like this person does try to communicate with you on the astral realm. They definitely feel towards you that you're like a true love to them, that I do feel like it's soulmate vibes or past life relationship vibes. Like, and by soulmate, I just mean you guys knew each other in a past life and made that decision to meet up, because you can have soulmates that are like, totally platonic friends or even family members. So it doesn't, I'm not saying like this is the only love of your life or anything like that, but you guys probably did know each other in other lives and probably made that decision that like we are going to meet up again in this lifetime. So I feel like you guys do hang out on the astral plane. You guys do like talk up there, and I feel that also this person plays you music or influences the music that comes on with listen with your hearts. Like it may be something where randomly a bunch of love songs will come on in a row, like that reminds you of that person, and or reminds you of that time when you were with them, and you're like, oh my gosh, why is it suddenly a bunch of EDM songs playing on the radio or something? Or why is it a bunch of like soft rock songs? Because we always used to like listen and joke about that, or something like that. Like I feel like, yeah, they communicate to you towards songs, and might put on songs that like remind you of them. And I feel like you can also probably feel their presence around you. Like, I feel like if you guys were to, sit down and meditate or have a moment of silence, they would probably come to you because they are very connected to you on the astral plane. They really like to kind of reach out to you there. So I wouldn't be surprised if you dream about them. I wouldn't be surprised if whenever you go to meditate, you're like, oh my God, there they are. Or every time you listen to a pick a card, oh my God, they're coming through again. This is a career reading. What are they doing? Like, I just feel like they're very influential and very connected with you on the astral plane. So we also got foggy, foggy bog patience, dragonfly spirit change, wizard of the woods focus, and earth spirit stability. I almost thought that said foggy boy, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a cute nickname. Sounds like a rap name or something. But they are kind of, if it's a guy, a foggy boy, like mentally, I feel like maybe they didn't see things clearly at that time. I always associate fog with Neptune, and kind of Neptune can be a little not, well, delusional, yeah, or just not seeing things clearly. And I almost feel like that's what they're saying is like, I didn't kind of know how to approach you at the time. I didn't know how to handle this correct. And I feel like they've had time to reflect, and now they're trying to change. They're trying to move forward and get stability in their life and like build a future for themselves that you would want to be a part of. So probably a good career, probably like a physically attractive body, probably someone who's well spoken conversationally and can hold a really good conversation. Like I feel like they're just trying to level up their whole life so that when they step back towards you, that you would be interested. And I feel like they are definitely asking for patience and saying like, just wait, I'll be back, just hold on. I do feel like there was like conflict between you guys at one point. Like for a lot of you guys, it seems like maybe at one point you guys had a falling out or a fight. Take what resonates and leave the rest. So if that's not you, then obviously it doesn't apply to you, and just take the rest that does resonate. But I do think that for some of you guys, there may have been like a falling out or an unpleasant ending or tension or unhappy emotions. Maybe like they asked you out and you said no, or maybe they didn't ask you out and you were upset about that, and you were like, um, feeling like they were unpleasant. I keep hearing unpleasant, so maybe there was something unpleasant that happened between you guys. But I don't know, but I just feel like they've reflected a little bit on it, and it's like they may have blamed you at first, or maybe there was just some crazy falling out and they didn't take responsibility. But I feel like with time they've taken a lot of responsibility, and they have realized their own mistakes and that they should have handled a lot of stuff different. I feel like they're more mature now, and they're in the process. I almost feel like when they met you, they didn't see themselves through like another person's eyes. And it's almost like I feel like they were irritated with you because it's like suddenly they were judging themselves, which I think is something love can do. Like when I always compare this. like I feel like we all have ideas of like, oh, that celebrity is so cute or something. And it's like, oh, I would love if they asked me out. But like imagine if whatever your celebrity crush is actually like bumped into you somewhere and asked you out on a date, you would probably be so nervous. Probably you would be looking in the mirror like, oh my God, I need to fix my hair. Oh my gosh, I need to schedule this. I need to go to get waxed or whatever it is, your self care routine. You'd probably be like, oh, I can't believe I didn't work out that hard last month. Like, oh my gosh, I should have been keeping up on my diet or whatever it is that you guys do. Obviously, it's better to be just confident and happy with your body and not doing anything crazy. But I mean, I think sometimes when we meet people we really like, it takes us outside of ourselves, right? And it kind of makes us like overly self-conscious. And almost getting that vibe from them is like, that's maybe why they were angry, is because I feel like their higher self is saying that they really hadn't considered themselves before. Like, how attractive am I? How charming am I? Am I a good conversationalist? Am I physically fit? Am I whatever? And when they met you and started dating you, suddenly that all dawned on them of like, oh my gosh, I'm actually not that great and I need to step up my game. And they may have directed that some like anger at you in their head because of that, of like, oh my gosh, why am I so self-conscious now? It's because of her or something, or she shouldn't care about stuff like that or anything. But I feel like if it, maybe they might not have even communicated that to you, you might have just sensed a little tension between you guys of like, he's suddenly acting weird, or like he's making a big deal out of like, I guess I can take you on that date or something. Or he's like making weird comments. I don't know. I feel like they might have hid some of this from you for some of you guys and probably didn't actually tell you that this was what was going on. But I feel like for some of you guys who were like, yeah, there was weird tension and it was just, I don't even know where it came from. Like that was it. It's because you made them insecure because they liked you so much that suddenly they were looking at themselves in the mirror being like, oh my God, I didn't even notice how I looked last week, but now, oh wow, like I have a zit on my face, or I really don't like my hair, or I wish I was more XYZ. And so I feel like there was a little like resistance or anger, or like almost feeling like insulted, how you get that feeling of like someone insulted me, but you didn't say anything to them. This is just their brain kind of filling in blanks and just assuming that like they weren't good enough or something. And so I feel like now that's why they're working so hard on themselves and trying to build and wanting you to wait. Because I also think sometimes when we don't feel comfortable stepping towards something as we are, we feel like, okay, let me build myself up, let me take a pause, let me retreat and build myself. And that might be where this kind of misconnection happened for some of you guys, where maybe they ghosted you or you didn't hear from them or they never actually asked you out. And I feel like if that's the case, it may be because they weren't feeling good enough and they were just like, okay, I'm just going to retreat for a moment and build. And then that moment turned into like weeks and then months, and then now they're like, okay, I can't just like text this person out of the blue, like we never even had anything that deep, so I'm gonna look crazy if I text them. So yeah, I feel like that's something that happened with you guys. So we also got, you may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the event in your life. Through turmoil, blessings will soon be revealed. And then sacred union, honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. So this person considers this connection very sacred. We had a ton of soulmate cards coming through. So I definitely feel like they really value your presence in their life, even if it's just on the astral plane. They think of you as a very special person to them, and that this relationship meant a lot to them no matter what form it took. I definitely feel like, again, they think of you a lot, and you, like I keep hearing, you meant something to them. So whatever you guys had, I feel like it kind of woke them up. I feel like it's almost like they were asleep, and we did get the Four of Swords reversed. So it's almost like they were asleep and then you came in and it was like a splash of cold water on their face, and suddenly they were like, oh my God. Like I feel like it's almost like they were kind of on autopilot is what I'm hearing, and they weren't taking life as seriously as they should have. So they were just kind of going through the motions like, okay, whatever, I guess I like my life and I'm just gonna I don't know, maybe play my video games, or I'm just gonna be caught up in this world. And then I feel like you brought the color to their life. You introduced them to this idea of deep emotion and the way love makes you feel like you're just floating on air, and how special and amazing life could be. And again, made them make some changes to themselves where they wanted to level up. They wanted to maybe hit the gym, or they wanted to make themselves better in different areas and like become a better person or make more money to kind of earn you. And so I feel like their higher self is like grateful for that, and saying like that really helped them in a lot of ways, even if they never stepped forward towards you and told you that. I feel like it made them overall glow up, and they're grateful for the changes that they made. I'm literally seeing that scene from like Princess Diaries, where they like take her and, do all this stuff to her hair and her makeup. And of course, she was like beautiful before, but they like make her, I don't know, look like she's like extra beauty standard and perfect for like the cover of a magazine. So I'm feeling like that their team is saying like that that's what you did for them, that you made them start like examining like, oh, maybe I could do this with myself, or maybe I could improve myself in that way. And so ultimately that was something I think that was fated, was for you to come into their life and really make them wake up and realize how they need to shift and change. And that's been very positive for them. So even though you guys aren't together in union, I feel like they're extremely happy that that happened for them, and that they're still on that glow up process of like working really hard and trying to shift certain areas of their life and get better and level up. So then we also got, you may not always understand why certain things happen, but there's always a higher purpose in your life. So I feel like this is a message to both of you guys, saying that even though you guys aren't together and it may have caused you guys a lot of heartbreak and pain, or at least I'm getting for most of you guys, you wouldn't be together with them. This may have caused you a lot of heartbreak and pain, but you guys both have benefited by this in different ways. Like I feel like you feel like you may have been like creatively inspired, or it woke you up to the idea of love, because I feel like for some of you guys you hadn't had like this huge love, and this was something that woke you up to the idea of it and the feeling of it, and like, wow, this is so special and it feels so amazing. It feels like I'm walking on air. And that was something you guys had wanted but hadn't had happen. So for both of you guys, even though it was painful, it was actually a gift from the universe that was fated and decided beforehand for you guys to come into each other's lives and bring this into each other, because I feel like both of you guys have grown in a positive direction as a result. I feel like if you were to look at your life, there are certain things you also improved upon. Maybe you haven't had the same approach as they did, where you're like, okay, I'm going to hit the gym and I'm going to blah 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 and tick off this whole list, and then I'm going to come to them. But I feel like if you look at your life, it's inspired you guys, and it's gave you this emotional kind of support. Like I said, you are protected by them as well. Their love has like surrounded you and kind of helped your energy field be happier and be higher vibration. So even though you might not be like hitting the weights the way they are, or trying to get like a high paycheck with the sole goal of being with them, I do feel like if you look at your life, you've benefited from their presence in it, and you've made changes too, or you've just been inspired. I keep getting that you're artistically inspired, and it's given you like a lot of joy. So I feel like spirit is saying, focus on that, and like don't be bitter about it. Not that I don't think you guys are as bitter, and I feel like at least your person perceives you as being the 10 of cups, so being someone who's like relatively happy about this. But they're in swords cards, so it's kind of more a message to them of like, don't be so upset, because you guys both glowed up. You guys both got blessed by this, and that was exactly how it was supposed to happen. So even though you guys didn't end up together, it was still an overall win. It was still a blessing. So final cards we got are New Moon Promise, River Movement, and Whale Breach. So to me, these final cards are so just this person saying that like they are trying so hard to come to you. They are trying so hard to improve their life and make the necessary changes. And honestly, it can be hard to change out of deep rooted habits and behaviors that we've had for a long time. It's really, really hard to break a habit. And so I feel like your person is saying that they've been trying, they've been like this whale just like desperately trying to like flop out of the water, despite how heavy it is, because of you, and they are trying to make movement even if it may not seem that way. Like even if you're like, okay, but you haven't contacted me, and like what are you doing? I feel like behind the scenes they have been working on stuff. And again, there's this thing on their side where they don't want to step towards you while they're a work in progress. They don't want to step towards you and be like, hey, so it's not finished yet, but I'm almost there, and like it's we're working on it. No, they want to step towards you when everything is done and perfect and fixed. So they're not going to come towards you until they know that they've got that locked down and done, and that everything is in their life is the way they want it. So I feel like that would be a successful career. I feel like that would be, an attractive body, and good conversational skills. So they are trying to improve themselves, but it is a process. And so if you're like, what the heck is taking so long? It's been months or it's been years, then it's like they've been working on themselves in the meantime. And sometimes, when we start these journeys, we can be like, okay, I'll step towards them. Like it's almost like I'm seeing the image of like, when you get a text and you're like really busy at the moment, you're like, okay, I can't respond now, but I'll text them back in like an hour when I'm done with this. And then you forget for whatever reason, like say you get home and then you have to cook dinner, and then you go to sleep and you're not thinking of it, and then the next day you also don't remember or whatever, and next thing you know, you're like looking at your text and you're like, oh my god, I never texted that person back. And then it's like, oh gosh. Or maybe even you did notice the text, but it was like later that night and you're like, I still feel, I just feel weird. I don't want to, I'll text them tomorrow. And then the next day comes and you're like, I'm just going to text them the next day. I'm PMSing today or whatever. But it's like something that they didn't intend. I feel like a lot of them to have you guys not be in contact for a long time, but they wanted to take time and build themselves up. And now maybe it was like unintentional, but it's been a while. And so now they're like, okay, there's no way I can like text this person without seeming like a massive creeper and a weirdo that I'm still thinking of them. So again, they perceive you as the 10 of cups. So they perceive you as like doing really well. And the image on this is like she has some suitor playing the flute to her. She's like vibing to the song, so she's doing good. She's living her best life up on that balcony. And so they don't perceive you as someone who is just like sad, lonely like them. They perceive you as like, I'm doing good, I'm happy. And so they don't think you're waiting for them. So I feel like it's going to be a pretty hard thing for them to work up the courage to actually speak to you. And I don't know if they'll be able to do that or not. But I definitely feel like that's something they still would like to do. It's still something that they think about and that motivates them. We did get promise, new moon. So I feel like this is them. And you can see there's a couple on the actual card, which is like, I think the only card in this pile that has a couple on it. Or like a human, well, there's a couple with human beings, but like a couple for sure. So that's the only one. And I feel like it's, they're kind of promising you like, I will come back. But I don't know if that's the case or not, because I think that's their intention. But, I feel like as time goes on, it just gets harder and harder for them to send that text. And the more they're like, I'm going to be a total freak if I text them this, they're going to think I'm just so strange if I hit them up out of the blue. And so I feel like it's almost like one of those things that spiraled out of control, where they had told themselves like, well, I'll just wait another month and then I'll text her. And now they're like, oh God, it's been 7 months, and now it's been a year, and oh my God, it's been 2 years. And so it's like they never intended to wait so long, but they have been. And so I don't want to tell you guys to wait around for this person, because we do have free will and they can make the choice or not to actually step forward. And I feel like some of them might just chicken out, because I do feel like there's something in them that chickened out before. So I feel like they will again. Or I should say that they might chicken out again. Not like for sure, but it's a general reading. So there's going to be different people within this pile, but for some of them, they will chicken out again. And some will probably work up the courage to step towards you. But I do think you guys should focus on living your best life in the meantime, because who knows what they're going to do. Like, it could go either way, right? So I feel like, they have so much affection towards you. They really like you, but they are in the process of trying to build themselves, trying to make something of themselves. And who knows how that's going to result or how that's going to apply towards you. But in the meantime, you guys are very connected on the astral realm. You guys do hang out up there. I feel like you guys probably dream of each other, think of each other quite a lot. They probably do barge into like your pick a cards, or when you meditate and stuff, you can feel their energy. There's a very wistful energy towards them. There's a very like reminiscing on the past and thinking about what you guys had. And I don't feel like they've emotionally moved on. Even if they're in another relationship, I still feel like they probably think of you a lot and have more of an emotional connection towards you than they have towards their person. So, yeah, there's a lot of like missed opportunity energy coming through and ruefulness and like, dang, I didn't handle that correctly. So the feelings are there, but we do need to see that action too if this is going to happen. So anyway, I hope it resonated, pile one. Make sure to let me know in the comments. I love hearing your thoughts and your stories. So let me know, and also make sure to give it a big thumbs up as well. And if you guys want to check out more of my videos, make sure to check out my Patreon. Link is in my bio, and I post a ton of readings over there as well. So check that out if you want to join us over there, and subscribe over here as well, of course, since I'll be posting readings over here too. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next reading. Sending you so much love and light, guys. Take care. Bye. Hey pile two, so if you guys picked this amethyst crystal, this is going to be your reading. So for your pick a card, you guys got the wisdom card. Then for your tarot, you got the lovers, king of wands reverse, 3 of pentacles, the hermit reverse, strength card, 2 of wands, 8 of cups reversed, 5 of pentacles, and the ace of swords reversed. So with the lovers coming out right off the top, I can tell that this person had really deep emotions towards you. And with the hermit being reversed, followed by the strength card, I feel like it was really difficult for this person to be alone and away from you. Being in separation was extremely painful for them and used all of their strength. It was everything they had to be away from you. And I feel like there is a desire to reach out, but it's like it's probably not going to happen, to be honest, because I feel like this person is kind of wallowing in the pain of this. And I feel like they are also saying that they kind of mishandled the situation. And at this point, it feels like it got so complicated that they're honestly not sure of a way out. With the Ace of Swords reversed, it's like they can't see a solution. They cannot see a way to solve this problem. It just seems like they're just stuck in this energy. For some of you guys, this person may have come across or been a bit of a player with the King of Wands reversed. Maybe when you met them, they were very smooth, they were talking to lots of different people, and maybe that was one of the reasons why that you didn't want to date them, or why things got bungled in their mind. So this is obviously from their perspective, but it's almost like I feel that some of them are looking back and thinking like, I should have handled that a lot better. It's almost like they may have treated you like they treated all their other kind of conquests, and now they're like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? I can't believe I lost out on this amazing relationship as a result of my actions. So there's a lot of kind of, I don't want to say bitter, but a lot of sadness coming through, a lot of pain. I do feel like they learned a lot from this relationship, but there's also just this deep sense of loss and almost like I can't leave this behind. With the Eight of Cups reversed, it almost feels like they've tried time and time again to leave this behind. They may have even gotten into another relationship with someone else and tried to date someone and tried to put this in their past, but they're still thinking about you. And it seems to me like it's something that they just have been trying to move on from, but they keep thinking about. You keep being on their mind no matter how much they try to change that. It's almost like they don't see a solution to this problem. And for some of them, they are trying to move forward with the Two of Wands and kind of think about their future and the choices they want to make in the future, but it's very difficult for them. And even though they think about the future, they can't help looking back at the past and at what you guys had together. I feel like this person grew immensely from this connection, and their higher self is coming down to thank you and say how grateful they are for the lessons that they learned, because I feel like you taught them a lot. I'm feeling like a lot of you guys in this pile had really high standards for yourself. This is maybe where this King of Wands energy didn't work on you. Maybe with other people, they were able to be like a real smoothie and trot out some rehearsed lines that they would use every time, like a pickup line or something, and act really cool and not really put a lot of effort in and just be like, hey, do you want to come over and watch Netflix? And these people would fall at their feet and be like, oh my gosh, yay, I'm so excited. But I feel like a lot of you guys have higher standards, and it's like if they weren't going to come correct and act right and speak to you respectfully, you kind of curb them. Even if your feelings were involved, you were kind of like, no thanks, I'm good. And I feel like at the time, they kind of didn't understand it. They may have even misinterpreted it and said, like, oh, they're not into me or they don't care. Because I feel like your person is saying that they mishandled it really strongly, that they made the wrong choice or they misread the situation. They didn't perceive it accurately. And so maybe there was a sense of rejection on their part of like, oh, they must not like me that much. And that's why they turned down my offer to Netflix and chill. But the reality is, you guys just have really high standards for yourself. You guys expect the best, and you're not going to just tolerate bad behavior or just swoon over someone acting a fool. So I feel like your person has had time to think about this, and there's this reflection and realization that they really messed things up and that they should have been willing to correct their behavior rather than just leaving this behind. I feel like your person is probably very attractive and had maybe some other success with other people, because I feel like their reaction to like perceived rejection was just to be like, okay, I'm on to the next, whatever, I'll just get over you quick. And it's like that didn't happen. They thought that they were going to be over you really fast and that they could just move on and find someone else and things would be fine. But that's totally the opposite of what happened, and instead they're so hung up on you. And it's like in this scene how you can see this guy is surrounded by these two girls, they're both fawning over him. That may have been what happened for this person. Maybe they did date around, maybe they did have a lot of other suitors that they were able to get, and maybe it felt good for a moment to be going out on these dates or having these, what do I call it, romantic entanglements, as Jada Pinkett Smith would say, with other people. However short term they may have been, if you get what I'm saying, because I don't think this person was necessarily in a bunch of long term relationships, but short term, one night things. That's kind of the vibe. And they probably thought that would satisfy them and they would just get over you, but it feels like that didn't happen at all. And instead, the reverse happened. And now they just think of you so much. And it just almost drove home how empty these interactions were compared to the connection they had with you. So they were with these other girls, but they were thinking of you and wanting to be holding you like that. So this is where they were, this is where they wanted to be. And it feels like they really have had to do a lot of reflection on this. It's almost like at first maybe their ego was bruised because, again, they weren't used to any kind of rejection at all. Even though you weren't trying to reject them and you were just trying to put up your own boundaries and stand up for yourself, I feel like they took it as rejection. They took it as they're saying I'm not good enough, they're saying they're better than me or whatever. And so they took it very personally. And now it feels like they've had time to reflect, and instead of being bitter or angry at you, they're like, wow, I so respect how that person handled themselves, and they were absolutely right. So they've taken a very mature attitude towards this, but I definitely feel like it's been very painful. So let's get some romance oracle cards. So we got reconciliation, new love, it is safe for you to love, and stay optimistic about your love life. So I feel like actually their higher self is coming through a little bit through this to tell you guys that kind of like it's okay for you to move on. I feel like they are saying that they understand how much they mess things up, and they do want you to live the best life possible because they do care about you a lot. It feels like a very sad decision that they're having to make, but I feel like for some of you guys, enough time has passed, and in their mind, the situation is just kind of hopeless. Like there's no way it can work out. And so I feel like their higher self is coming through to tell you guys that it's okay if you guys are dating someone else or dating someone new or you want to move on. That deep down, as much as it pains them, they would understand. This is honestly a very emotional reading, to be honest. I'm getting a lot of pain coming through, but I feel like with new love, it is safe for you to love and stay optimistic about your love life. They are saying that maybe it is time for you to move on and not to wait for them, because I feel like this person's energy is very defeated, to be honest. It feels like there's not a way forward or a path forward for this relationship. It feels like as much as it is like driving a stake into this person's heart, that they've accepted that they just bungled things too badly and that you will have to move on with your beautiful self, because I feel like you guys are very attractive and will have a lot of offers and a lot of people interested in you. And this person doesn't want you to miss out on that and force you to just sit around waiting for them. So I feel like as much as they would dream about and love a reconciliation, and that's something that they thought about for so long and desperately wanted, it also just feels like they have kind of accepted defeat and said that they probably know it's not going to happen. And a lot of this feels like their own failures, almost like they are beating themselves up, because I feel like what I'm hearing in my mind is that song Better Man. And I feel like they're saying, if I was a better man, I would contact you. If I was a better man, I would be brave enough to put myself out there, but they're not. And they are not capable of sending that risky text or making themselves feel vulnerable, because they, I feel like for a lot of you guys, it feels like, at least in their mind, too much time has passed, or like you would just say no, and they don't want to put themselves at deep risk of that rejection, because again, they also value your opinion so much and how you guys carry yourselves, that I feel like it would just cause them a lot of deep pain if you said no to them. And this is probably what held them back before. It's almost like when you really respect someone, their opinion carries so much more weight than anyone else. And so maybe you can hear rejection from, someone you just don't really care that much about, like a stranger on the street. It's not going to bother you that much. But when you look up to someone and respect them so much, and I do think this person thinks of you as highly intelligent with the Three of Pentacles, I feel like they learned a lot from you, and they see you as kind of like a leader or a teacher for them. I feel like a lot of you guys were highly intelligent, and I'm getting for a lot of you guys, you spoke to them also about spiritual truths that they may not have known. Maybe they were not into astrology and you did their birth chart, or maybe they, didn't know anything about manifestation and you would mention stuff about it. I don't know, but it feels like there was spiritual growth on their part because of this relationship. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why your opinion weighs so heavily on them. So rejection from you would kind of kill them. It would just weigh on them so heavily. So it's really something they definitely want to avoid. So we also got Starry Night, acceptance, Stag Spirit, leadership, Eagle Spirit, freedom, and Wise Woman of the Grove, grace. So like I said, they consider you very wise and intelligent. And Wise Woman of the Grove is also has that spiritual component. I feel like there was a spiritual nature to your relationship. It feels like you guys had this very deep connection, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was soulmates or twin flame situation, because it feels like there's a spiritual aspect to your feeling so drawn to each other. And so I think this is one of the reasons why this person is so in awe of you. I'm almost getting like goddess energy. I feel like there's a lot of divinity in this group. You guys may be my high priestess pile that is into a lot of spiritual elements, but I feel like you guys just come across as someone with a lot of wisdom and intelligence. And so this is one of the reasons why they took your opinion so harshly. But right now, it does feel like they have accepted this. And it's really sad because I wish this person could kind of, maybe that's why King of Wands is actually reversed as well, because the King of Wands has a lot of natural energy, and the King of Wands is a go-getter that 100% goes after the things he wants. And it feels like your person feels so disempowered, like they feel like they are nothing, or they can't do anything, or like they're just not good enough. And I wish I could light some fire energy under them and make them realize that they do have the power. Maybe they have a debilitated Mars, like a Mars in Libra, or maybe, yeah, maybe they have some, difficult Mars aspects or something, but it just seems like they don't know how to approach this and to come into this. I wish they could step into their leadership energy. I feel like that's something they want to do, but it's almost like they may have found a partner who allows them to feel like the leader, because I feel like you guys are so powerful that it's almost like they couldn't feel like the leader that they needed to in this relationship. And I want to be very clear that I'm not calling you guys out or saying you made a mistake, or saying like, hey, you guys um were not in your feminine energy, or it feels like this is a compliment to you. And I feel like honestly, a lot of you guys in this pile will attract someone who's more in their divine masculine and who's a much better match for you. And you guys are going to be more equals. This person is in a lot of pain, but that's not something you have to take on as like, oh, it was my fault. This person's higher self is taking almost full responsibility for the failures in the relationship. Maybe you guys made a couple mistakes, or maybe you were too harsh or something, I feel like at times, but it feels like overall 100% almost of the blame would go towards them. They were so disempowered, and I feel like this is a theme in their life. And honestly, it feels like they're not capable of fixing it, of taking that hard look at themselves and being like, I need to change this, I need to improve that, and I'm going to work on this, and I'm going to commit to it. It feels like they're just kind of flopping and being like, I can't do it. Oh well. And so I feel like they might find a partner to kind of use as a crutch for the time being, but I wouldn't think it would work out that well for them in the long run, because we can't rely on other humans as crutches. We have to fix our own dysfunction. So for right now, I feel like you guys are a little bit free, or they're encouraging you to have your freedom. They're encouraging you not to stay tied to them, because it's like they're saying they have so much on their plate right now, and they honestly are a mess, is how I would call them. Like if I was getting a tarot reading, giving a tarot reading to this person, I would tell them that they have a lot to fix, and I wouldn't even know where to start because the energy is very dysfunctional. So I think that, their message from their higher self for you to move on is probably a very wise one, and something you guys should definitely think about. So other cards we got for you guys are turn on your heart light. The only thing that is real is love, and love who you are. So I feel like your person, it's interesting, they're coming through with this message, which is more about your own empowerment than their feelings for you. I feel like you guys know deep down that they loved you super deeply. And maybe some of you guys have pressed pause on your love life because you're so still plugged into them, and still knowing that they have these deep emotions. And maybe there's a part of you that's just like, I just wish they could step forward. I wish they would contact me. And I really feel like you should know that they're probably just way too disempowered to do that. And that's their own problem and their own mistake. So it's like step forward into your own best energy. Of course, it's a general reading. So maybe people can change their energy, and maybe 1 of them will contact you guys one day. But I do feel like for most of you, This is a strong message that it's okay for you to love again, and you should focus on finding a beautiful soulmate of your own that is actually equipped to step up and come to you in the way they should and come correct and actually, because I feel like a lot of you guys, this person wasn't even capable of fully telling you their feelings or fully having a relationship with you or fully, asking you out on a date and taking you on a good date. It feels like they just really bungled things, is what I keep hearing in my mind. They really mess things up. So I feel like you guys should know that you deserve that whole relationship with someone who is going to treasure you and value you so much and take you out on a nice date and really go out of their way and, yes, make themselves vulnerable, because dating and being emotional is scary, but that's the whole point. And if it's worth it, you do something that's scary. And I feel like your person, they just couldn't muster up that strength, and you deserve someone who will. So I feel like it's like if your heart light has been off, it's time to turn it on. And also for you guys to love who you are and know how special you are. I think that's something your person wants you to know, is that you guys are absolutely incredible. Like I said, I feel like they view you as a goddess, or if you are a masculine energy, I guess a god, but they just look up to you so much. They see you as so incredible and wise and special, and they really want you to be like residing in your own power. You know what I mean? Not, some of you guys might put yourselves down, or this relationship honestly may have taken away some of your self-esteem, the way it didn't work out, because I feel like a lot of you guys, you knew so deeply in your heart that this person loved you and cared about you, and so you just assumed, as anyone would, that of course it would work out, or of course they would step to you and tell you their feelings. And when they didn't, you might have taken that as a hit to your self-esteem, as like, okay, so maybe I'm not so lovable. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they didn't care. And I feel like their higher self wants you to know that they did care so much, and that their actions had nothing to do with you, and it had everything to do with their own self-esteem, trauma, dysfunctional behavior that's been with them for a long time and probably will be for a long time given their current energy. I don't think it's changed that much. It doesn't feel like they've worked on it and fixed a lot of this. So their lack of action was not because they weren't interested. It was because they were so dysfunctional and didn't know how to fix this. And so for you guys, you need to be aware of how amazingly special, sexy, gorgeous, and what a prize you are. I feel like anyone would be so lucky to end up with you guys. And I feel like a lot of you in this pile, you have a lot of people who have crushes on you or who would be interested in you. So their higher self doesn't want to see you waiting around and being hung up on them and not stepping forward into a new relationship. So that's coming across really strong. Maybe some of you guys haven't even been focused on love lately with Shift Your Focus Back to Love. Maybe you've just been so focused on career or work. And I think your person wants you to know that, like, maybe it's time for you guys to start dating again and putting yourselves out there. I can tell this was a very painful breakup for your person and probably for you as well. But it's like, don't let that, make you closed off towards love. It's kind of like you got to get back on the horse. You got to try it again. Even when we get our heart broken, it's so important for us to, not let that make us jaded or closed off, because you guys deserve love just as much as, if not more, than anyone else. So other cards we got are: look inside yourself, examine what is causing you to feel this way. Surrender. At times, we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go, and it will all work out. And transformation. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. So, what I'm hearing in my mind is that I feel like your guys' relationship is transforming, where there was such a depth and a deep love on the astral plane that you guys would connect there. And I feel like some of you guys have tried to put up barriers or tried to create boundaries with this person on the astral realm and not allow them to access your energy as much. And it feels like you guys, even though you guys will always have this very deep love for each other and be so connected through your heart chakras, that you guys made the choice that you want to live your own life a little bit, and your person I feel like at first that was really hard for them, but now they've kind of accepted that and they have surrendered to this. They have admitted defeat, that like they just don't have it in them to step up and to conjure up the energy they would need to step towards you in the right way and to make themselves vulnerable and to be brave and send the text. They just don't have it. So I feel like your relationship is shifting or has shifted into more of one where even though you guys will always have love for each other and be connected, there's this acceptance that this situation is what it is. And I feel like it's funny because I feel your person really may have entangled themselves with a third party that they really don't have deep feelings for. And maybe, they are very linked to this person. So it's almost like they are focusing on that relationship, but not really, because the relationship is not a deep soul love connection, if you know what I mean. Um, it just seems like they were just lonely or desperate and they just found someone and just locked it down. And it doesn't feel like a deep soulmate vibe, to be honest. Whereas I feel like you guys have been a lot pickier, which makes sense since I said you guys are a spiritual pile with high priestess energy, that you would have had this wisdom even while you were going through the pain. But it feels like you guys really took your time and were like, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to decide. I'm going to find the right person. And I feel like because of that, you're going to have a much better time of finding that right soulmate that actually isn't just a band-aid on the pain, but honestly blows the pain away because they're your soulmate in such a positive way, not a painful soulmate connection, but a beautiful one of just abundant love and happiness and joy, and none of this misconnection, sword, sadness energy, just joy and happiness and like nine of cups, 10 of cups energy. So I feel like you guys are going to be able to have that potential, but your person really doesn't, because they were trying to run from the pain so hard that they really got themselves into another pickle. And I that makes me sad for them. But again, I feel like you guys need to focus on yourselves, focus on your own beautiful life that I feel like a lot of you guys are manifesting, and welcome that energy in. I feel like this love story almost has Romeo and Juliet vibes or some kind of tragic ending to what could have been really amazing, but I feel like your side of the story is going to end really happily. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're going to take the wisdom you learned from this relationship and apply it towards a real soulmate connection that's going to fulfill you a lot more. But for your person, honestly, they may have gotten themselves into a very dysfunctional third party situation with someone they just don't have those feelings for. And they maybe were hoping to make you jealous, or maybe hoping that those feelings would come along sooner or later, but they never have. And since they didn't wait out for real love, they probably never will feel that way about this person. So it is sad for them, but for you guys, I want to give you guys kudos that maybe taking a bit of this time that you guys have, or pressing pause on love for the time being, was a very wise decision that's going to lead you guys to this beautiful relationship in the end. So final cards we got are autumnal equinox, release, iceberg, submerged, lightning, power, and fairies, earth, magic. So I feel like for a long time you guys felt very submerged in this relationship and very stuck, and like you couldn't get away from this person. It may have been one of those situations that I hear about in my comments where it's like they just wouldn't stay out of your pick a cards. Every time you'd listen to a career reading, they'd be like, there's an X coming through. One of those kinds of situations where energetically and on the astral plane, they were just so linked to you, and it was really hard for you to separate yourself from them or to fully move on. But I feel like for a lot of you guys, now you are in this release energy, and I feel like your person, I feel that a lot of you guys were the first ones to initiate this change, and you were the ones to be like, it's time to move on. I'm blocking you from these pick a cards. Maybe you did, cord severing exercises and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of you guys made the conscious choice to stop connecting with this person as much and stop letting them into your energy. And it feels like this person fought back against that for a really long time. And eventually now they're in a place of acceptance and understanding that that was what you had to do and that you're moving on. And as sad as it makes them, they just don't have the fight in them to push back and to step up in the way they would have to. So they're just kind of accepting the defeat and waving the white flag. And I really feel like for a lot of you guys, that's going to be a big turnoff because I think we all want someone to step up for us, to fight for us, and your person just doesn't have it in them. And again, their higher self wants you to remember that this has nothing to do with your worth or your value as a person and everything to do with your person's dysfunctional behavior in general, which I feel bleeds into their work life. They might not be that successful at work. Their other relationship, I feel like many of them have a partner that kind of does everything for them and babies them. And a lot of that has to do with they just have this defeatist, kind of lazy attitude, to be honest. So be grateful. I know it's painful because I can feel the love that you guys had. But honestly, every rejection is God's protection, and be grateful you didn't end up with this person because I do feel like so many of you guys have a truly divine soulmate kind of love coming through in the future with someone who will always show up for you, stand up for you, and do whatever they need to do to be with you and will never cop out like this and just be like, oh, well, I can't do it. So I'm just going to tap out. I feel like a lot of you guys will be so happy with how your new person shows up for you and you waited. So you earned it, you deserve it. And your person is also coming forward to say how powerful you are, how amazing and in awe they are of you. So they just want you to not take their lack of action personally. They want you to know how special you are and really be in your full power and energy because I feel like when you guys decide something, you're unstoppable. Like I said, high priestess energy. And I feel like so many of you guys built a life for yourself. So be grateful you didn't get linked to this person because I don't think they have the ambition or the power or the strength you do. And honestly, it's a blessing to be separated from them. So that was a really heavy reading, you guys. I can feel the sadness, and I'm sorry that you guys had to go through this, but I'm excited for your beautiful new future with this new person. So let me know if it resonates in the comments. Let me know your stories. I'm very curious about this pile and what you guys have going on because I can tell it was very intense for you guys emotionally. So let me know in the comments. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up as well. And if you guys want to check out my Patreon, the link is in my bio. So check out all my videos over there. And also make sure you're subscribed over here as well because I post a lot of videos over here, of course. So I am sending you guys lots of love and light. I hope you guys all have an amazing day and take care of yourselves. Bye. Hey, pile three. So if you guys picked this clear crystal quartz, this is going to be your reading. So for your pick a card, you guys got Protect Your Dreams. And for the tarot, you guys got the Eight of Pentacles reversed, the Sun card, the Emperor, the Nine of Wands, the Two of Pentacles reversed, the Devil card reversed, the Star card reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles and Page of Wands. So I feel like, first of all, your person finds you super attractive. They were definitely very drawn to you with the Sun card coming out right over the Devil reversed. So it's almost like your person, I feel like, saw you as this huge temptation. Like maybe they have some ideas of what a relationship is like or very traditional ideas of things, and you just seem so sexy. Like I feel like they weren't even trying to get with someone like you, but you just kind of lured them away. It feels like they are just so attracted to you and really, really drawn to you. And I feel like there's almost a little bit of resentment coming through about that. With the Star reversed and the Nine of Wands, I feel like there's an element of kind of jealousy coming through where they may be upset of how many people notice you and how many people are attracted to you. And I feel like they wish, again, that they were like the only one who could notice you, who could see you. They kind of want you all to themselves, but they're aware that, of course, you're out in the world and other people are seeing you, but they definitely don't like that fact. I feel like they wish that they were the one who kind of had the power in this situation. It may even be that they're so attracted to you that they kind of associate you with having all this power over them. Like, oh my gosh, this person doesn't even know the effect they have on me. They have me in the palm of their hand and they don't even know it. And there's a part of them that kind of is rebellious against that or resistant to that, or being like, I don't like this. I don't like the fact that they can just have me exactly where they want me at any moment. So I feel like this person kind of wishes that they had more authority in this situation or more power over you with the Emperor card coming through. They wish that they were the one calling the shots in this situation, but they feel like it's you. I also feel like this person, they have the desire to step towards you with a financial offer or something, or with a high financial status. It's like if they could come to you with, a millions and millions of dollars or $1 billion, they totally would. They would totally love to present you with, like, guess what? I have a private jet now and I actually own a private island and all this stuff, because it's like they really want to impress you and also a little bit to have the power in this relationship. I do get the sense that this person may have a kind of immature idea of relationships and power dynamics. And in their mind, like, one person calls the shots and wears the pants, and the other kind of does whatever they want. And it's like they would like to be the one calling the shots, but they're kind of saying that you're the one who calls the shots. And I don't know if they're a fan of that. Like, I feel like they are so excited by you, but again, they want to be the ones making the decisions. So it's like if they had the finances to blow you away, to take you to the best restaurant in town and order everything on the menu and get the most expensive champagne, then you would have to kind of do what they say. You know what I mean? They would have the power, but instead you have the power. And it's almost like with the Page of Wands reversed, that when it comes to your level of attraction and how sexy and attractive you guys are, you make them feel like a kind of small boy, because the page is the youngest of the court cards. And so it's like you make them feel kind of young and like unsteady and like a first crush, kind of vibe. And we also got the Two of Pentacles, which on this card is pictures of two young kids. And so it's like you kind of bring that out in them. And I feel like it's like they want to feel like a man, or they want to feel like a woman, but instead you're making them feel like it's like a teenage crush that they had for the first time, and they're nervous and they're like, oh my gosh, does my breath smell okay? And is my outfit okay? Like, I feel like you make them a little bit self-conscious, and there's a little bit of them being like, hey, wait a minute, I don't know if I like this. I also feel like this pile is kind of split into two. With the Eight of Pentacles reversed, I feel like there's people in this pile where this person is saying that they put in a lot of work towards them. They really put in all the effort they had towards them, and they are kind of a little bit bitter that it didn't turn out the way they wanted. They're like, excuse me, I put so much effort into you, so much more than I would to anyone else, and they can't believe that it didn't work out. And they kind of are saying like, I can't believe they rejected me. So I feel like there's a lot of people where this person did actively try, and at least in their mind, even if it was just sending you a text, maybe they really had to work up to that. Maybe they, wrote it out, deleted it, and they were hoping you were going to have a really positive response, and you were just like, they were like, hey, how are you? And you just were like, oh, I'm okay. And they just were like, oh my God, I was rejected. So people can have different perspectives on like the work they put in, but this person, some of you in this pile, this person put in a lot of work, and that's what they're saying. And for others, I feel like they're saying, I didn't really put in the full amount of work that I could have. But I feel like because of the kind of cockiness that I'm getting in this pile, that most of this group would fall into the pile of, I put in so much work and I can't believe I got rejected. So there's like an ego thing at play here very strongly of like, no one's supposed to really reject me. I'm actually seeing like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. You know how he's like, he sings that whole song about like, I eat 4 dozen eggs every morning just to get large or something. And so he's talking about, I can't believe Belle would reject me. All the other girls are into me. And that's kind of like the vibe I'm getting. Like the energy is like some Gaston energy of like, wait a minute, I don't get rejected. And so I feel like at least in their mind, they're saying they put a lot of effort into you versus what they put into other people. Let's get more cards, some from the Romance Oracle deck. We got Codependency, True Love reversed, Forgiving and time learning and healing family issues. So that makes sense with a lot of the energy I've been picking up on, which does seem a little immature. So I feel like this person may have some codependency issues, maybe some family issues. Maybe they picked up a little bit of a dysfunctional love style. Maybe in their family growing up, one side wore the pants and the other did whatever they said. Maybe they had a very dominant mother or a dominant father, and there wasn't that give and take. It was just like one person said everything. I feel like, honestly, for most of you guys, this would be more along the lines of a very dominant father, especially if you're asking about a masculine energy, because it feels a little like outdated gender roles kind of vibes to me. Like, of course, you guys know I talk about masculine and divine feminine, but that always involves a mutual respect for each other's roles that they bring to the table, right? So it means that, both sides are different, but not that they're unequal. And it feels like here, like, I feel like this person, maybe it could be flipped. So if you are a masculine asking about a feminine, it could be the opposite. But for most of you guys, I feel like this person would be, maybe a masculine who had a very dominant father who kind of bossed around their mother. And they think that's how relationships go. And they think that, that's just how it is like the guy calls all the shots and the girl kind of runs around after him doing what he says, which is totally not divine masculine, feminine energy, to say the absolute least. So it feels like it's a little bit dysfunctional to me. And I feel like this person picked up that at some point in life, and hopefully they are learning something new and kind of unpacking that. But I feel like this did come in the way of this being a functional relationship, because I feel like they had this idea that you would kind of fall at their feet and you would do whatever they said and just be at their beck and call. And I feel like it didn't go down that way. I feel like you stood up and had your own opinions, and you weren't just going to, faint with joy because they texted you once. You were like, I have my own life, I have my own interests. And I feel like this person kind of took that personally, because they had this script in their mind for, I'm going to text her and she's going to instantly be so flattered, because who wouldn't be flattered? And all girls will be flattered when they get a text. So I'm not really digging the vibe, to be honest, of the energy I'm picking up on. But I feel like, part of this is stuff that this person maybe saw growing up or observed. I don't know, somewhere along the way observed it and took it on themselves. And this was maybe a learning opportunity for them, where they had to realize that that's not how things work and that they have to respect the divine feminine energy. And so I feel like, yeah, this was maybe a bit of a lesson for them. And of course, if you're divine masculine, maybe it's the opposite energy. I'm not sure. Asking about a feminine, I'm not sure. But I just feel like this person had a lot to learn. And with codependency coming through, yeah, there was a lot of dysfunction. They may have even played mind games with you or tried to make you feel, kind of on edge, because it was like they wanted to have you, like I said, right in the palm of their hand. They were very strongly indicating that to me, that they wanted a little bit of control, that I would call unhealthy, because of course in relationships both sides kind of belong to the other and it's a mutual thing. But there can be relationships where there's obviously way too much control, and sometimes insecure partners do that because they're afraid of being left. And that would make sense with this person having the star reversed. It's like they don't want you to glow too brightly. They don't want you to shine like the beautiful star you guys are. They want to keep you kind of under their thumb. And I'm hearing Under My Thumb by the Rolling Stones. Where they can control you and you can never leave them, because I think that's maybe a fear for them. Sometimes people who have a fear of being left, they disguise it under like some bravado, like, well, I gotta, no, I gotta call the shots. But what it really is deep down is an attempt to reduce the other person's self-esteem so they can't leave them, because it's fear-based. Either way, it's not really okay and it is dysfunctional. So maybe for some of you guys, I mean, it is a general reading, it might not be that intense, but yeah, I think this person has a lot to work on, to be honest. So other cards we got: Mystic Meadow Sanctuary, Raven Spirit Truth, Bluebird Spirit Happiness, and Forest Temple Enlightenment. So these are interestingly positive cards compared to kind of the vibe I'm picking up on. I feel like with enlightenment, though, they did grow a lot from this relationship. I feel like you made them very happy. I honestly feel like, happiness is kind of coming through as your energy. I feel like you guys are kind of like bluebirds, and that like bluebirds just sing, they're happy. I feel like a lot of you guys had that energy or vibe to you. Like maybe you're happy go lucky. I'm kind of getting almost manic pixie dream girl vibes, or someone who's just like in a good mood and just positive. Um, and I feel like that's kind of why they liked you so much, is like you are a bit of a sanctuary to them emotionally. They feel like they feel very drawn to you, and you feel like a kind of soft place to land. Again, this person, I don't think they would ever admit it because I think they would think it's weak to say this, but I do think they have a lot of fears and they have a lot of self-esteem issues that they would never say to anyone else, but they do exist. And it's like you made them feel very safe around you because you guys are very non-judgmental. I feel like you guys are the type of person that someone could tell you anything and you're going to be like, okay, well, that makes sense, or you're going to try to see their side of things. And because of that, they really felt like they could open up, share their truth with you, and really be seen by you. So it's like that's why they're so drawn to you and they just can't get enough of you, is because they feel like you guys have a very special connection. This is maybe why they're also so jealous of the other people in your life and irritated because I'm hearing like you don't know them the way I know them. And it's kind of like, how dare you even try to pretend like you know them when you don't have this connection we have? Um, so this person loves your kind of happy, uplifting spirit and energy. I feel like you guys are just very joyful, very positive types of people, that always have kind of a smile on your face and an upbeat attitude. And this person really, really loves that about you guys. So let's get more cards. So we got relationship patterns. It takes strength to recognize the need to change. Then we got be supportive, make a genuine effort to show you care. Then we got be willing to express love to receive love. And finally, we got true love. This love is once in a lifetime. So this person may feel like you are a true love of theirs, their true love, that it feels like when they met you, they felt a much deeper connection to you than they've ever felt to anyone before. I feel like the conversations you two had together really meant a lot to them, and it was something that gave them a lot of emotional support. They see you as a very loving, kind, and supportive person who they can go to for anything and get help, advice from. I feel like even just emotionally, even if they don't tell you their problems, just seeing the smile on your face or the look in your eyes or just the way you laugh makes them feel healed and makes them feel really good inside. And they love that you, again, I just keep getting soft place to land, and like you're someone they can really talk to in a way they couldn't talk to anyone else. But I feel like this person, I don't think they're that good at being vulnerable. And so for most of them, I would guess that they weren't that willing to express their love, and they weren't that willing to really get down and be honest and say how they were feeling. It just seems like this person, again, really likes control, really needs to feel like they're in control of a situation, like they're calling the shots, and they really can't feel safe unless they do feel that way. They can't feel like everything's going to be okay unless they feel like they have protected themselves emotionally and have a little bit of a wall up. And I feel like Spirit is saying that that's where this person has some relationship patterns that they need to change and work on. And a lot of this, like I said, is deep rooted kind of childhood stuff, deep rooted stuff that definitely didn't come or start from you, but more along the lines of has been from their family or somewhere they picked up in their childhood, but not necessarily anything you brought into their life. But I feel like you highlighted the fact that they need to change. And I feel like they're saying that they are grateful for the reflection moment that you gave them, where they were kind of bitterly disappointed that this didn't work out between you guys, because I feel like, again, they were so drawn to you guys. They were so attracted to you guys. It was like, Spirit, I feel like, needed to teach them a lesson. So it's kind of like when you hide something that um, tastes really bitter in a delicious candy or something. Like, you know how Mary Poppins says a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down? Or I've heard of like parents who will like, if their little kid needs to take a pill, they'll like hide it in, obviously you'd have to find a really small like item, but they'll like wrap it in like, I don't know, an airhead or something, and then like the kid, you know, chews it up or swallows it, and next thing they know, they had the medicine and they didn't know it. Or they'll do that to dogs and stuff too. So I feel like it's almost like spirit knew this person needed to learn this lesson, and they knew they had to make you guys extra attractive and extra this person's type, so that they were so tempted by you. So usually they would probably just avoid these kind of hard relationship lessons and keep themselves emotionally walled off. But because they were so drawn to you and think you're so hot, I feel like a lot of you guys look like their exact ideal type. Like if they have a physical type or a crush on a certain celebrity, you probably look exactly like that celebrity. Or you are their exact physical type and they're like, oh my gosh, did this person come out of my dreams? Like it's just such another level, the attraction they have for you versus to anyone else. And I feel like Spirit did that on purpose because this person needed to learn these difficult lessons. They needed to take some accountability and really change some of this dysfunctional behavior they have. Now, whether they learned this lesson or not, I'm not sure. I'm feeling for some of them, they did not. So it's not like they're a perfectly changed person and checked off all the lessons, but I'm just saying this is kind of the intention Spirit had, and this is why this physical attraction was so overwhelming and strong, maybe on both sides. But I definitely get, at least on their end, that they are just so drawn to you. So we also got transformation. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. Balance. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. And sexual union. Honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. So this is what I'm saying is there's a very deep sexual component to this relationship. Even the cards are calling it out. There's so much attraction on a physical level that it really just stands out. Of course, all relationships will hopefully involve some level of physical attraction and finding the other one cute and being drawn to them in that way, but this just seems on another level. I feel like this person, you know how John Mayer had that quote where he said someone was his sexual kryptonite. I don't know if that's the classiest thing to say in an interview about someone, probably not, but I feel like this is this is what's coming to mind, that it's like they just, you were it for them. You know what I mean? You were just everything they are drawn to, you had it. And for them, it was extremely overwhelming and is coming through as a main part of this reading. But also with balance, like Spirit itself is calling out this imbalance that they want in the relationship. The fact that they don't really feel comfortable in a balanced relationship where both of you are in your power and operating from a place of power. This person really only likes it when they're the ones calling the shots. This is why I would say if you are in separation from this person, that this is a positive thing. This is not something to be sad about. This person has a lot of lessons to learn, and I'm not saying they can never learn it or that this is it and this is the energy they'll be in for life, and so just run and there's no way to fix it. Of course, if this person was to commit to energy work and really making a positive change, they absolutely could come out of this energy into more of a kind of respectful, egalitarian view of things. But as it stands right now, it does seem like they have a very lopsided idea of how relationships should work. And it mostly involves them calling the shots and you following along and doing whatever they want. Um, so I feel like, yeah, this is something that Spirit probably didn't like for you. I feel like your guides would probably be like, no, 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 this isn't going to work for us. So if you guys randomly had separation happen, like maybe, you know, their text didn't go through to you and you didn't see it until 2 weeks later, and then you're like, how did I miss this? Or you were supposed to see each other again but they didn't show up, or you were supposed to have one last class together and then they were gone the final day or whatever, like a kind of seemingly accidental like reason why you guys didn't end up together. I feel like that was orchestrated and done on purpose by your guides and by spirit, and it's something you should be grateful for, to be honest. Because I think this person has a lot of transforming that they have to go through before they would really make a very suitable, respectful partner and treat you in the way that you deserve. I feel like also maybe this is a message from your guides. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. I feel that you made this person very joyful, but a lot of you guys are naturally, like I said, happy go lucky, positive, uplifting, vibrant people. We got the sun card for you guys. So you're probably pretty cheerful and happy types. And I feel like this may have dimmed it a little bit because it was sad for you to be in separation from them. And maybe some of them honestly didn't treat you that well or weren't as respectful to you, and didn't speak to you in the way they should have. I'm not saying this person was horrible to you, but I almost feel like they're the type of person that would joke by like negging someone or making like a little bit of a dig and then like playing it off as a joke. And I almost feel like for some of you guys, not everyone in this file, maybe you took that personally and maybe it's something where now you're like it did kind of get into your self-esteem and your guys are saying like, girl, please do not let that in because this person has their own issues and you guys are so beautiful and vibrant and joyful, and that's how you're supposed to be with the sun card. They might not have wanted you having that upright star energy. They might have wanted you in reverse star, but you are the star and you're going to be upright, glowing and shining, and you're the sun too. So embrace that part of yourself, embrace your bright beautiful light, you guys, because that's a beautiful part of you that so many people will love, and your person knows it, and that's why they didn't want you to be glowed up, because they don't want the competition. So anyway, so we also got tree grounding, ocean ebb and flow reversed, and forest breath. So with ebb and flow reversed, I feel like, in a good relationship, there's an ebb and flow. There's like changes and um, there's, one person has something they want, the other person has something they want, and it's kind of like a back and forth. And it feels like this was very dogmatic almost. This person's a little bit self-centered, and I don't think they would be so good at that back and forth. I also feel like with ocean ebb and flow reversed, that it could also talk about like an off and on relationship where there's not a very consistent flow, where it's always back and forth, and you don't have kind of that steady ground to stand on. It's like, sometimes you'll see someone and they're trying to like do something on the shallow part of the beach and the wet sand, but it's not in the water. Maybe they're like taking a photo of something or just chilling there for some reason, and then randomly a big wave comes and like gets them soaking wet. It's kind of like it's not solid ground to hang around. Sometimes like I saw someone put their towel on the kind of wet part of the beach, but it was like far off from the waves, and they were like, I'll just rest this here because like their bikini was kind of skimpy and they didn't want to have to run far for it. And anyway, their towel got completely soaking wet, and then they had to wear it home, like, completely wet in the car. And my point is like, this is not the kind of ground you necessarily want to put your towel on because it doesn't feel firm, it doesn't feel steady. Like it feels like at any moment some giant wave could come in and soak everything. And by that I mean like, it feels like this person is a little immature with relationships and might get mad or randomly um ghost or randomly like cut off communication or randomly be mean or like make a dig. Just doesn't seem like a steady, like conscientious and careful vibe that I really look for to see, oh, this relationship looks like it's gonna thrive. It's not grounded, it's not based in like that calm energy and that deep mutual respect that I love to see in relationships. I feel like with forest breath being the final card, spirit's almost telling you like, take a breath, take this as a learning lesson, and maybe pause and reflect on everything. And maybe for some of you guys, honestly, something coming through is maybe there's a reason you chose someone like this. Maybe there's a part of you that thinks this kind of thing is normal, or you don't think you deserve the absolute best in a relationship, or you're willing to overlook some chaos. Maybe you also grew up in a family structure that was a bit chaotic, or where there was one kind of parent who was really overbearing, or maybe you're just used to kind of people pleasing and putting other people's emotions first. But I feel like it's like maybe take a little pause and think about why this came into your life, and why, I don't want to say you didn't see the red flags, but kind of like why you guys wanted to be around someone like this. And I'm really trying not to be harsh. And for some of you guys, of course, it's a general reading. Maybe you like didn't even really like this person that much, and they just really liked you, and you're just watching it to be curious, and maybe you've done self work. So not everyone here has lessons to learn, but for those of you guys who were like really into this energy, it might be a reason to pause and reflect and just be like, what is my type? Is my compass off? Because the star here is actually a photo of like a compass in the ground, a like floor with like this little mosaic or whatever of a compass, and maybe your compass is off. Maybe, your taste in men or women is not fully in alignment because maybe you had a toxic ex or a toxic parent, or maybe, you had someone in your family who was really overbearing and you think that's normal. But I don't know. I just feel like maybe that's a message for some of you guys, is like, y'all can do a lot better than this. And for some of you guys, maybe this person is very attractive and actually a beautiful energy and soulmates, and maybe they just need to work on themselves and fix a few things and be a little less dogmatic, and maybe it will have a super happy ending. I mean, these are general readings, so there's going to be different people within the groups, and take what resonates and leave the rest. But if you guys feel the need or feel called to reflect on this relationship and be like, because I almost feel like sometimes the most traumatic relationships, people can have a hard time moving on from them because there's almost a trauma bond that occurs. There's when someone doesn't treat us right, isn't respectful to us, it can be even harder to move on. So just something to think about if it does resonate, of, maybe having a mantra of I deserve the best. I deserve this kind of equality in a relationship or whatever. So, yeah, I hope no one's offended by that message at the end, but I just want you guys to have the absolute best type of person for yourself, and a beautiful relationship where you're treated like a queen or the empress or the star upright, because y'all deserve that. So let me know if it resonated in the comments, guys. I'm very curious about this pile and what y'all have going on with this person. It's very interesting energy. And make sure to give it a big thumbs up as well. And if you guys want to check out more of my videos, you can check out my Patreon, link in my bio, and I have a ton of readings over there as well. Also, make sure you're subscribed over here because I post readings here too. But I am sending you guys so much love and light, and I hope you guys all have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves. Bye. Hey Pile 4, so if you guys picked this amethyst crystal, this is going to be your reading. So for your pick a card, you guys picked Go Outside. And then for the tarot, you guys got the Five of Swords, the World, Two of Swords, Three of Cups reversed, the Moon, the Empress, the Hanged Man, the Fool, and finally the Queen of Pentacles. So what's coming through right away is that this person, I feel, has a lot of respect for you. I feel like you guys, they perceive you as someone who's, first of all, a little bit maybe bougie or luxurious, or like they would have to level up their finances to get with you or to be on your level. So maybe you guys have already achieved a lot in your career, or you're on track to that. Or maybe you haven't achieved that much in your career, but you just seem like the type of person that would only be dating like ballers, or only be dating wealthy people, or only be dating, wealthy men, is what I'm hearing in my mind. But of course, this energy could be flipped. If you're the divine masculine, maybe they just perceive you as someone who has a lot of money and that they can't compete. There's something about you guys being on like a higher level than them, and that they wish they could kind of be on your level, but it feels like they don't feel like they're there yet. I also feel like there's a little bit of regret coming through through about some of their behavior. So I'm not sure what exactly they did, but I do feel like there are people in this pile that may have been cheated on, with the Three of Cups coming out reversed combined with the Five of Swords and the Hanged Man. It feels like maybe some of you guys had your person acting badly and maybe you found out, or maybe it got discovered somehow, but it feels like they've done reflection on that and they realize that they totally messed up, and it's something that they feel like they might have made the wrong choice with the Two of Swords. So I feel like there's a lot of regret and rumination going on. There's a lot of feeling very defeated. It feels like they didn't step to you with integrity. Like, I feel like however they approached you guys, it wasn't showing you guys the level of respect that they think you deserve. Maybe they never even asked you out and things never got to the level of like infidelity, having an affair. But it feels like, however you guys were approached, there may have been other people involved romantically. There may have been someone else that they were talking to at the same time as you and you found out, or maybe they just maybe you guys met in a certain setting and they seemed to be talking to others, or you just assumed they were talking to others. But it feels like there's regret coming through, that like they didn't lock things down with you. They weren't as honest as they should have been, or that you got the impression that they were with someone else. And so I feel like they do, they think about that and that they messed up. You can see this guy's expression on this card. He looks pretty bummed out. So I feel like this person thinks about kind of like, why did you act that way? Why did you do that? Why didn't you figure this out earlier? They may have even made a choice to behave this way with the Two of Swords, and it's like they picked wrong. They made the wrong decision, and now they look back on it and they're like, oh, I can't believe I did that. That was so foolish of me. So there's a lot of, and with the moon, that can also speak about being very, I don't want to say delusional, but kind of making decisions that were very unclear and not well thought out, and not very intelligent, to be honest. So I feel like maybe your person is looking back on how they acted in some way, and they're kind of saying like, either I wasn't in my right mind, maybe they were even drinking too much or something with the Three of Cups, or they just didn't take the situation as seriously as they should have. Maybe they did cheat, or maybe they were around others, but it does seem like there's some third party energy coming through. It could have even been that they picked between you and someone else, they chose the other party, and they're regretting that. But either way, whatever the scenario is, there's major regret coming through. And I feel like you guys only look, since you guys stopped talking to this person, you look glowed up, you look beautiful. I feel like you guys have a vibe of someone who is so attractive and just, I'm hearing magnanimous. So I feel like you guys have a regal quality to you, a gracefulness, a beauty about you that almost makes you look royal or something. And I feel like you've handled yourself with a lot of grace. Like, what's coming to mind is however anyone feels about the royal family, which, not going into that subject at all, but just saying, like, I feel like there's been lots of stories about, how like with Queen Elizabeth, something crazy would happen or there would be a loss. But, as the queen, she would have to go out and act very graceful and be, leading a ceremony or knighting people, or being at a banquet or a feast or something, and be very composed. She couldn't just go cry in the corner because everyone's going to be staring at the queen. And maybe sometimes she'd have to lead an address to the nation, and she'd put her crown on and head out. And it's like, that seems like what you guys were doing, or at least your person is saying that you never let it show that you were super upset about this. You just carried yourself with grace and dignity. It's kind of like your person was behaving like they were on the Jerry Springer show or something, and you were like, I'm removing myself from this narrative, and you guys just didn't have anything to do with it. You might have just left, like you just bounced out of the situation. Maybe they were hoping to make you jealous by bringing around someone else, or maybe they were, yeah, trying to like let you know that like, well, I'm talking to other people, and you were just like, oh really, okay, then bye, I'm not interested then. But it feels like you kind of removed yourself from that narrative, is what I'm hearing, in a very graceful way. Like if they were trying to kind of make a fool of you, it feels like it didn't work. It feels like if they tried to make you jealous or upset, that was just a total fail. And I feel like now they look back and they're like, I was so foolish, and we did get the fool. So um the fool can have multiple meanings, but in this case, I really feel like it's just the fool, as in they were acting a fool, and they finally realize that now. But with the world, like their opinion of you was so strong. I feel like you guys come off as very worldly, as very sophisticated. With these cards combined, it's like you guys are sophisticated. You guys might have a very elevated sense of fashion and dress in a very classy way. You guys may have traveled to different countries, or if you haven't traveled, maybe you're just aware of different cuisines. And maybe if they take you to a Chinese restaurant, you know exactly how to eat with chopsticks. And if they take you to a German restaurant, you know exactly what to order. And you may speak a little bit of a different language, or it just seems like you guys just really know how to conduct yourselves. And there's a lot of, like I said, sophistication. Like you don't get made a fool of easily. I feel like if you are put in an unfamiliar situation, you guys figure it out quickly, and you always keep a level of grace around you. Like you always know how to conduct yourself with a certain level of dignity. So I feel like there's a part of them that they just keep saying miscalculated. So I'm getting, maybe they thought they were going to make you jealous or something, and then instead it backfired and you were like deuces, and now they're like, oh wow, that was dumb. So we also got give your relationship a chance. Pay attention to the red flags, engagements, and true love. So for this person, you may have been their true love that they really kind of can't get over, because it feels like they still feel so drawn to you and attached to you. And they really do reminisce about this relationship and wish that you guys could be reunited. With give your relationship a chance, I think they would really love it if you guys came back into their life and if you guys were able to make things work. But with pay attention to the red flags, I almost feel like that's a message from spirit saying like there were problems from them. Like I almost feel like I keep getting that there was some decision or something like that that happened, and I keep hearing childish. So I feel like in a way they acted in a childish way. If they did try to make you jealous in some way, that's extremely childish behavior. Like, it's very non-adult to just try to rub something in someone's face and hope that they react well. I mean, that's just not even well thought out. And so I feel like this person, it's almost like they made this spur of the moment decision. They didn't think it through. And what I'm hearing from spirit is that may have been typical of this person. Like you guys might think it was a one off, like, oh, they just made this one decision and I'm sure they regret it, but oh well, but yeah, it was just one decision. But I'm hearing that they would do stuff like this a lot. I feel like when it comes to you, they have such a high level of respect for you that maybe they didn't do this before around you. Maybe they were on their best behavior with you, so you got a different view of them. But I'm hearing that in their life, they can be quite impulsive and just make stupid choices in general. And again, it's like they were on their best behavior with you. The dynamic here almost reminds me of like mother child, like it, honestly. Although, again, the vibe could be switched if you're divine masculine, divine feminine, or divine masculine, it can be switched to, I guess, father and daughter. That sounds kind of weird, but it just seems like there's one side that's like really in charge and is very mature and respectable, and then the other side is kind of a mess who just can't get their act together. And I feel like this is something you should know, that it would have persisted. It wasn't just limited to this one isolated incident. It wasn't like this was the only time it ever happened, and if you had been together, they would have figured it out and it never would have happened again. I'm feeling like they would have made a lot of mistakes. They were kind of shocked that you guys didn't put up with it, because in their mind, you should have. They thought everyone would put up with it, and it's like it was a real awakening for them. Um, to realize that like people don't have to put up with trashy behavior, and someone who has a lot of self-worth isn't going to. Like someone who has a lot of options and is in Empress, Queen of Pentacles, world energy is not going to just sit around and let someone like disrespect them over and over. So I feel like this person definitely, we got the Fool, or excuse me, we got the Hangman. So they took a new perspective on this of like, oh goodness, okay, I guess that's not going to work. I guess I got to switch things up a little bit. Maybe they did want to get engaged to you. I do feel like this person would have loved to be with you long term. That's for sure. I feel like you guys, you make an excellent wifey, is what I'm hearing. And maybe they thought of you like that, or maybe they imagined being with you long term. Because again, I just keep getting that you guys manage your stuff really well. You guys, I feel like, are on point career wise, or if you are not on point career wise yet, you will be, because you guys are highly intelligent. And sometimes, it takes a few years to figure out and get on the right path. But I feel like that's your destiny, is like you guys are just smart cookies, and no matter what, you're going to figure it out and you're going to have success and be financially successful. Whereas I feel like this person is a lot more chaotic, and I don't know if they're going to be able to figure out the financial aspect the way you guys do. So I feel like for them, yeah, they would definitely sign up for an engagement. And it's not like it's just all about money for them, but I definitely feel like that's a factor where they're just really impressed, and they just know that like if you guys were to marry them, that you would make an excellent partner. You guys, I feel like, manage your life really well, and you would also be that way with your spouse. You would help them with things. You would be really good at kind of managing a household and taking care of all those things. So for sure, I feel like this person just sees you as like long-term compatibility, like someone they could be really happy with long term, and that I definitely think they would be happy to have long-term commitment with you. So we also got Meandering Pathway, Flow, Hummingbird Spirit, Joy, Daffodil Fairy, New Beginnings, and finally Spirit Guardian of Summer, Expansion. So this card is a lot about wealth accumulation. So I do feel like for them, that's something that they consider when it comes to you, is like they would like to be able to gather some wealth and be able to provide it for you, because I feel like they feel that would make them much more attractive to you, and that if they could have some wealth, that it would make them much more of a better candidate that could compete and possibly be with you. So that may be something that they're working on while you guys are in separation. They might fantasize about coming to your place with like a Lamborghini and surprising you and being like, come with me, and taking you to the best restaurant in town or something. Like I feel like they just they would like to be able to have some money to be able to kind of compete for your hand and kind of impress you in the way that they would like, because they see you as so impressive and on such a high level that that's something they might be actively working on, is trying to build this wealth and trying to be able to provide for you in that way. I feel like this person seems, honestly, like they have a very kind of youthful energy. Like I feel that they are somewhat happy go lucky, or sometimes they don't take situations as seriously as they should. It's good to be happy go lucky, but we also need to have that pentacle energy where we take things seriously and we really address the problems in our life head on, and don't just kind of slap a smile on our face and just ignore them. And I feel like this person might have a tendency to do that. It's something where they kind of let life flow around them and kind of let spirit take over a lot. And it's something where I would like to see them kind of take the wheel and take control of their destiny. I feel like they had a lot of desire for you, and then a lot of regret, but it also seems like they kind of have an energy where they can kind of tune out and pretend everything's fine and not focus super hard on what's going on around them. Um, I feel like they tend to be focused on like new, now, next, kind of like what's going to happen next in my future, rather than thinking critically about the past and things they need to change. So I feel like there's a part of them that does distract themselves by, playing video games or doing something fun with friends or going out and partying. And that may be a frustration for you guys. Maybe you're like, why didn't they text me? Why didn't they call me? Why didn't they say that they were sorry or tell me their emotions? And I do feel like part of that was that, again, they're used to distracting themselves when they get upset about something. They're used to kind of taking their mind off it and focusing elsewhere, and trying to find something else to pay attention to that will make them happy, rather than kind of cleaning up their mess. It's kind of like someone who, just keeps cooking in a really dirty kitchen, and they're just like, whatever, I'll just add another pot to the pile, and it's like, at a certain point we all sometimes, don't clean right after we cook, but you gotta do that little clean down and scrub those plates and scrub the dishes and load the dishwasher and get everything clean again. And I feel like sometimes this person just distracts themselves by like something else. This may be where the hurt came in, is like, I feel like maybe after you guys were done, or maybe while you guys were talking, you were like, why are you talking to other people? And it's like, it's not that they weren't into you, it's that they're used to distracting themselves. They're used to having multiple stuff going on so that they take their mind off any pain they feel. I feel like that's something they've adapted as kind of a coping mechanism to deal with life. So they're very prone to distracting themselves on purpose. But I do feel like the thing about this relationship was it gave them a level of kind of, I don't want to say hurt and pain, but kind of, that they couldn't really ignore for that long. So, in that sense, it was actually a really good growing opportunity for them. So, we also got treasure your loved ones. It is important to love others deeply. Then we got spiritual connection, a relationship that has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime, and express love through gifts. A small token of love can convey great appreciation. I really feel like I keep getting that this person would like to have a lot of money and be able to step towards you with some really bougie gift, some really upscale situation, whether it's a really expensive night out at a restaurant or a nice car or a nice new outfit or something. It feels like they feel if they had the money that they could, really step towards you confidently and really appeal to you on a deep level. And so I think that's something they are working on, is building up their finances, trying to be a little bit more serious. So they're trying to kind of meet your level and level up for you. But yeah, you guys definitely do have a deep connection. I feel like what I like about this is it seems like you guys see the best in each other. I feel like you saw them in a really beautiful way and you kind of got a kick out of them, and you liked some of their lighthearted behavior, even though others may have been like, oh my God, take this seriously. There was a part of you that liked that, and they liked everything you guys brought to the table. I actually feel like a lot of people might be intimidated by you guys, but this person saw the good in you, saw kind of your soft, warm heart inside. And so there was a deep spiritual connection where both of you guys psychically understood and saw each other for the truth. Um, but I do feel like, obviously, if you guys are in separation from this person, that obviously it didn't work out. Maybe some of you guys are together in this pile. But I feel like this person learned a lesson to really treasure your loved ones and to treasure the people around you, because it almost feels like they took you for granted, or they wanted to send you that message. And so they did something stupid. They didn't like think intelligently about it, and they didn't value you the way you deserve to be valued. And I feel like you guys are just the type to not tolerate it. You're not going to turn the other cheek and pretend you don't see it, and you know just look on the bright side and just ignore the reality. You're just not that type of girl. You're the Queen of Pentacles. You're logical, down to earth, and smart. And I feel like this person has learned that lesson, that if they had another chance with you, they would value you a lot more. But again, this person is prone to this kind of behavior. I feel like they're just impulsive. They may be, I don't know, they just feel impulsive, and they feel like they just make spur of the moment decisions, not thinking them through, not going over the consequences in their mind. And that's how they got in this situation. And they'll probably continue making these kinds of decisions in the future. So I don't know, for someone like you, this might be a little bit more of a mess than you want to get involved with. So we also got acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times, we must accept things as they are. There is no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. And we got life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You will be surprised where it leads. And finally, secret admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. So this person feels like they really didn't tell you everything that they felt. Maybe they did tell you some of it, or maybe they would flirt with you in kind of a joking way. That's kind of the energy that it feels like. Like, I don't feel like this person is the type to be super serious, but it's almost like they regret that now. They regret that they played it off and made it seem like it was just no big deal and kind of laughed and was flirty, but not in a super intense way. I feel like, their emotions for you were very deep, and it's like, if they were honest, they probably would have written like a really intense love poem or something, but that's just so not their personality that they didn't want to do that. So I feel like now they're kind of stepping forward to say, like, I really did like you so much. And it's almost like, I wish I had been that honest. I wish I had been that blunt. I almost feel like for a lot of them, even they didn't realize how much they cared about you until they really lost you. And then when they lost you, they realized what they had and that they had really bungled things up and there was a lot of regret. But in the moment, again, they're impulsive and I don't think they thought this situation through. I think it was almost like, they kind of have a mischief making personality. They have kind of a court jester vibe, and I feel like it's like they really didn't consider, like, they're not used to being serious anyway, so they were just trying to keep things light. And then when you were gone, they were like, oh my gosh, I totally didn't even tell her and I can't believe that, or I didn't tell him. And so there is regret coming through with the fact that they weren't fully honest about their feelings and that they kept their emotions secret to a certain extent. um, and then these two cards, I feel like they both have to do with, you know, going with the flow of life. And that's something this person does pretty well, to be honest. And maybe it's a message for you guys about, like, if this didn't work out, that's okay. I feel like your person really regrets the fact that it didn't work out, but they're also coming through with a little bit of an enlightened energy, being like, I also accept that things weren't supposed to work out and I understand that. And as painful as it is, I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm okay with it, but I accept it. I accept that I had to take this L and that's that. And I feel like there's a part of them that has kind of accepted it, that like it's sad, but they're gonna just have to deal with that sense of loss and regret, and it makes them upset, but it is what it is. So I feel like a lot of you guys also have accepted things, and maybe in the process of moving on, maybe some of you guys, I feel, have a new relationship or are in the process of getting a new relationship. Maybe you're dating or keeping yourself busy, but I feel like you guys have kind of been very, like, Queen of Pentacles, like very logical or very like driven about it, like, okay, well, on to the next. And for those of you guys who have done that, I think that's a good idea. It's not to close off your emotions, but I think this person has a lot of work to do. And I feel like for right now, like I said, this is something that would repeat the patterns. And I feel like when you guys are in this Queen of Pentacles, Empress energy, you're not going to necessarily want to have to deal with a boyfriend or a girlfriend that's always messing up, always making mistakes, and then being like, oops, oh, I didn't think it through, sorry. Like, you want someone who's loyal, who's intentional, like you are, and where you guys are an energetic match in that sense. And it just seems like this was not it. So, yeah, I think it's like, I know this can be painful when this kind of a thing happens, but at the same time, recognize it as sometimes, that's just how life flows, and rejection is God's protection. So, yeah. So, for our final cards, we got Summer Solstice Radiance, Gaia Nurturing, and Meadow Vulnerability. So, I feel like you guys have a very nurturing quality. And like I said earlier, this is like almost mother child vibe. And then we got Gaia, which is Mother Earth. And you guys are very nurturing. I feel like you are very nurturing and loving to this person. And they're kind of saying credit for you for that. Like, thank you for nurturing me and taking care of me. Um, but I also feel like there's a message from spirit of, like, you deserve someone to do the same thing to you. You don't just have to be giving and giving and giving and someone's taking. You guys can be in a relationship where someone gives that back and makes you feel cherished at the same time. Because it's almost like if you had ended up with this person, you would have been constantly like picking up after them, taking care of their messes, helping them out, and you would have been very drained. And even though you guys have a lot of natural energy and a lot of natural power with the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress, I mean, you don't want someone just draining that. You want someone actually giving that to you with their own energy and feeding that to you. So I think that even though this may have been a painful separation for both of you, it really is a blessing because your person would have really drained you, and you deserve someone who is going to give back to you and who is going to make you feel cherished and you feel loved. I feel like your person is acknowledging how radiant and beautiful and special you guys are, that you guys are that type of person that as soon as you enter a room, everyone turns to look, and you just have this incredibly special quality about you. So you should know that about yourself, because I feel like sometimes you guys don't feel as noticed or don't feel like you deserve this kind of spectacular love, but the reality is that you do, and that you guys are so gorgeous and attractive, and the right person is going to be so drawn to you. And I feel like that's going to be someone who's actually on your level and gives back to you again. I feel like this relationship came in to kind of teach you guys some vulnerability, teach you guys, kind of stir up those feelings of love so that you guys will put yourselves out there dating wise and be open and let yourselves get hurt in the process, possibly, and know that you'll heal from it. Not saying you guys will be hurt next, but it's like, when we're vulnerable, it may seem scary, but that's such a powerful place to be. And like, of course, you are risking hurt whenever you're vulnerable, but you're also risking like winning the lottery and having the most amazing love ever and feeling our spirits soar with joy. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, isn't that way more worth it than worrying about like, oh, I might get hurt in the process? Because I feel like this really opened your heart. There was something about this relationship that was supposed to come in to open you up so you guys wouldn't be so closed off. Because I do feel like some of you guys were closed off in the past, and this relationship kind of cracked you open, is what I'm seeing. So you might have wondered, why is it so hard for me to move on from this person? Why do I keep thinking about them? That's why, because Spirit brought this into your life to remind you of how beautiful love is and that it's worth taking the risk. It's worth being vulnerable. So I would love to see you guys continue working on that, continue making yourself vulnerable, and open yourselves up to the possibility of this beautiful soulmate love with a King of Pentacles or an Emperor who will match your energy, take care of you, and respond in kind. And you won't have to run after him, taking care of his messes because he's chaotic. You will be with someone who's as equally regal and graceful and powerful royal energy that you guys have. So I would love to see you guys lean in towards this and acknowledge that this past relationship taught you a lot of valuable things. And I feel like both of you guys can send the other person on with love and joy and well wishes for them. And it feels like that's the energy here now, is like both of you guys want the best for each other, see the good side in each other, and soon you will have someone feeling that way about you who, like I said, is a King of Pentacles energy that has his ish together, doesn't do this kind of weird chaos, and that's going to be so much better for you guys. So, okay, this dog is barking super loud, but anyway, I really hope it resonated, you guys. Let me know if it did in the comments. I'm curious about this story, so definitely let me know what was going on with this, and also make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you guys want to check out more of my videos, you can check out my Patreon. Link is in my bio, and I have a lot more readings over there, and subscribe over here if you want to see more readings over here. But I am sending you guys so much love and light. I really hope you guys have an amazing day and take care of yourselves. So I'll see you next time. Bye.